Today, more and more people are moving out of urban locations and into remote areas because they desire to be closer to nature. But moving to the country has its risks. Every year, the Maine Forest Service responds to and investigates over 700 wildfires throughout the state of Maine. Nearly one-third of those fires have been reported as threatening structures. Many of these fires occur in a unique area known as the Wildland urban interface.
The Wildland urban interface is the area where the homes meet the forest. This area is particularly difficult for both structural and wildland firefighters to fight fires. One reason that it's difficult is that homeowners tend to have shrubs and trees near their homes because they like the privacy or they like that feeling that they're living in the woods. But these trees and shrubs actually act as forest fuels and can carry a wildland fire from the woods to the home.
Many people also think they don't have to worry about wildfire threatening their homes in Maine. They see the large number of homes lost in fires in western states on the news and think, this won't happen here in Maine. In reality, Maine has all the ingredients for devastating wildfires, especially within the wildland urban interface. Maine has dense housing developments in forested areas, volatile forest fuels, which build up on the forest floor over time, and occasional periods without rain, where the fire weather conditions are ripe for devastating wildfires.
Maine is fortunate that it rarely experiences wildfires over 100 acres. The most significant threat to homes from wildfire rarely exceeds 5 acres. Typically, these fires are caused by a homeowner's backyard debris burn escaping into a forested area. This DVD offers suggestions on how you could protect your home from wildfire by clearing brush and creating a defensible space which could allow your home to survive a wildfire. We recommend that to reduce the risk to your home, you take action before the spring and summer fire seasons.
First thing a homeowner should do to make their home safer is to assess the risk of wildfire near the home. In general, homeowners who live in urban areas do not need to worry about wildfires. Homeowners who live in rural areas that are considered within the wildland urban interface, they could assess their homes with the help of a forest ranger or local fire department. In short, if your home has one or more of the following conditions, it may be vulnerable to wildfire. 1. Trees and shrubs crowded within 30 feet of your home. 2. Forested wildland within 100 feet of your home. 3. No fire hydrants or other water sources within 200 feet of your home. 4. Steep terrain, a slope greater than 20%, with flammable vegetation near the house. 5. Limited access for fire trucks, such as road width and or posted bridges. 6. Ignition sources nearby or history of wildfires. 7. Flammable siding or roofing materials. 8. Overhanging softwood branches. In order to educate the public about preventing fires in the wildland urban interface, the Maine Forest Service found a homeowner who agreed to allow us to use his home as an example. The first step was to conduct an assessment of the risk of wildfire. Even though the primary mission of Maine forest rangers is to fight wildland fires in forested areas, all are qualified to assess the risk of wildfire near homes. This particular assessment received a score of 98 out of 171 and is at a high risk of being burned by a wildfire. The risk would even be higher if this house was located on a steep slope, which increases the rate the fire spreads. A sketch showing problem areas was developed to help the landscaping crew know where to remove vegetation, based on proximity to the house, wind direction, and possible sources of ignition. A forest ranger or local fire department official can help identify ignition sources, such as recreational trails, campgrounds, railroads, and places where illegal fires occur. The first recommendation was to increase the amount of defensible space near the home. To avoid any confusion, let's clear up the definition of defensible space. Defensible space is usually a 30 to 100 foot area near the house where vegetation is maintained to reduce the risk of wildfire. Occasionally, the term defensible space is referred to as survivable space. Use of the second term, survivable space, implies the home should be able to survive a wildfire without the help of firefighters.
For the last several years, Maine's forest rangers and Maine's firefighters have attended the Maine State Wildfire Training Academy and have learned how to fight wildfires in the wildland-urban interface. One of the toughest concepts we teach is called structure triage. Similar to triage in an emergency room, structure triage is necessary when there are limited resources available to fight fires in densely developed areas with heavy forest fuel loading. Essentially, the crew boss only has time to protect the homes that are more likely to survive the wildfire. He or she has to make a quick decision on whether the house is savable or not. If the house is surrounded with thick softwood trees and has flammable siding and roofing materials, the firefighters will use their limited resources on a house that is more likely to survive.
Maine forest rangers have done structure protection on western fires and in Maine.
I've been fortunate to have worked on several large fires all over the United States. On some of these fires, I've had the responsibility of managing resources assigned to structure protection for dozens of homes. I've had similar experiences in Maine on fires in Addison in 1998 and 2001, in Steuben in 2000, and most recently in Centerville in 2006. The main problem we often face is the accumulation of forest fuels within 100 to 200 feet of a structure known as the home ignition zone, which allows a wildland fire to spread from a forested area to the structure. From my experience, most homes are not destroyed by a wall of fire, also known as a crown fire, but instead by blowing embers and a lower intensity fire which travels through this home ignition zone to the structure. Another significant factor that impacts the spread of wildland fire to structures is slope. Research has shown that fires travel much faster upslope and with greater intensity than fires moving on level ground.
Why is there so much emphasis on softwood or evergreen trees?
Maine is the most heavily forested state in our nation. It's comprised primarily of softwood trees, which are more flammable. Besides thinning or pruning these trees, a landowner could construct a series of fire breaks between their homes and the forest. These fire breaks can be utilized as recreational trails, which in turn would give the landowner more access to their property. It also could improve their property's value, but most importantly, is to stop that onslaught of fire. The base of these trails should be lined with non-combustible materials such as rocks or sand. We recommend to landowners to keep their lawns well maintained, which means regular mowing and watering, especially through that fire season between mid-March to October.
The Maine Forest Service has access to a brochure that lists 50 things you can do to protect your home from wildfire. These brochures are available from your local forest ranger or town fire warden, or from the contact information listed at the end of this DVD. There are 4 categories of suggestions for reducing the risk of wildfire near your home, based on cost and time. Most of the suggestions cost very little, and depending on the size and location of your home, could be completed in one weekend. Many suggestions are simple common sense items such as not stacking firewood under your porch and hooking your garden hose up early in the spring.
One suggestion we give landowners is to create and maintain a 30-foot defensible space from the structure to the forest. We certainly realize disposing of this material is costly and certainly time-consuming. Some communities have adopted what they call brush chipping day. Now, brush chipping day is where the community itself provides the landowner with a chipper that can be utilized to dispose of this material.
In many cases, the wood chips from these community chipping day projects can be used as biofuels to help offset energy costs and reduce the amount of carbon released into the atmosphere. Landscaping isn't the only way to reduce the risks of wildfires, though. Improvements to this home's exterior may also reduce the risk of wildfires.
Chimney cleanings for those that burn wood are extremely important because chimney fires may result in structure fires, which may, ultimately result in woods fires that, damage valuable timber as well as other adjacent properties. Many years ago, we had some roofs that had wood shingles. Those are not allowed anymore in our community. Virtually everything that's built today either is with metal roofs or asphalt shingle roofs. Some of the other products that are being used in the community are these composite plastic deck materials that are truly fire resistant. There, definitely are some important design characteristics that one should encompass, and homeowners should, involve their local fire department, with questions of, what can we do, what should we do, or what should we not do in terms of design, locating for access as well.
As we begin to conclude this DVD, I'd like to go over the benefits of protecting your home from wildfire. 1. Your house should be able to withstand a wildfire from a nearby forested area. 2. You will have improved access for fire protection and other emergency personnel. 3. Your landscaping will look better. 4. And most importantly, you'll have a peace of mind.
I'm very pleased with the results of what we've done around the yard. It looks really nice, it's almost like a park setting. There's not too many trees, but not too few trees. It looks really great. It's nice. There's no undergrowth around the about a 30-foot perimeter around the house, and it just looks really great.
And now a few reminders from the Maine Forest Service.
The addition of homes in the wildland-urban interface interrupts the natural cycle of wildfires. Over time, this contributes to dangerous buildup of old vegetation, which could lead to an uncontrollable wildfire. Despite the risk of wildfire, you can still live in the wildland-urban interface, as long as you follow the recommendations on how to protect your home from wildfire. Please contact the Maine Forest Service or your local fire department to find out specifically what you need to do to fireproof your yard and create that survivable space.